If there's one thing we all know every single SMMA guru skips over, it's actually getting results for clients. And I recently made a video about that. It was 1.5 hours long. A lot of you had a lot of positive things to say about that. Thank you very much. But I'm not done. This is a massively underserved part of the SMMA community, and I'm just gonna make video after video about how to get results for clients so you guys can go out there and actually crush it. I think it's really noble what all of us are trying to do. Small businesses need our help. So I'm going to share everything I know about how to get results with you transparently so that you guys can have success and the small businesses can have success as well. So this is my 3-step framework for getting amazing results for clients, no matter what niche you're in. But before we get into step 1, we really need to discuss step 0, which is setting proper expectations with clients. We've all been there where the client's brought on board, you're getting them really good results, and a couple months in, they're like, hey, I want to cancel with you guys. And you're like, why? And they're like, well, I don't think we're getting a good ROI. And you're like, well, you're getting a 5x ROI based on what you've reported in the past. What's going on? They're like, I wanted a 10x ROI. That's not what I want you to be dealing with. So what you're going to do in order to mitigate that is ask this question on your sales call. Hey, what would be a win for you from us working together? What would you consider a good success, a reasonable success? And then they're going to answer, and their answer might be too high. It might be right on. And you may not know whether or not it's too high, but here's a good answer to help you with that. Let's say somebody wanted something fairly reasonable, like 8 extra clients a month. You're like, okay, that would be a really big win. I agree. I think we will be able to get you there, but it may not be in the first couple of months, and it may not be with the original amount of ad spend or the original offer that we start with. So what I need from you is just to be committed to the testing process so that we can eventually get you to that goal. How does that sound? That will save you so many headaches in the future from clients who actually do want to succeed, but are going to have a tough time when you don't provide the proper expectations for them. Something else that you should say, and this is called a damaging admission, which is a very powerful marketing principle, look it up, is say something like, hey, these leads that we're going to generate, 5 out of 10 of them probably aren't even going to pick up the phone. And this is real talk, guys. Like, that actually is true. I don't know if anyone's ever told you that. No one ever told me that when I was starting out, but 5 out of 10 leads generated online, like, literally do not answer the phone. And that's coming from data that I see on the back end. Like, we book 50% of people that come through. And then you say, of the other 5 left of those 10, 2 or 3 of them are going to be solid. They're going to come in, they're going to buy. The other 2 to 3 are, kind of on the fence. They might no show, they might not actually be that committed, but depending on how good your sales process is, how good your scripting is, how close you can book them into your schedule, you'll probably be able to get some decent results from them. Having that conversation with your clients before you bring them on is so important. You need to make sure that they know this so that they're not upset at you about the leads not being good. One other tip here when it comes to setting expectations, in the onboarding form that we send clients, we ask the question, what do you expect from working with us? This makes sure that maybe if somebody like a third party sold your product or you sold it, but for some reason they misheard something, they can write out like, these are my expectations from working with you guys. And when they're upset about something else, you can reference that and be like, hey, you said these were your expectations. I'd love to recalibrate with you if you have new expectations now, but this is what I'm basing our current success off. Does that sound good to you still? And then they'll be like, oh yeah, you're right. I was expecting that. I did write that down. Those are my own words. You're right. I need to kind of adjust my expectations back down or be willing to spend more so that I can get to the result that I want to get to. I really need to make a video just on client expectations, but those tips are super helpful and will get you really far. Now let's go to step 1, which is getting the client's input on your marketing campaign. So when clients come on board in my agency, we ask them the following questions that really help us get a leg up and get results faster for them. First one is, why do patients choose your office? Tell us about, time, location, reputation. Next is, who are your biggest competitors? Anything you've noticed about their advertising that works in particular. Next, what are the biggest reasons people say no to buying from you? After that, what makes you different from other practices in your area? That's a really good one for them to answer and for us to be able to understand, okay, this is what they have built their business on. We should definitely be telling this to the people in their area. Next, what have you tried for marketing in the past? Did you notice what worked or didn't work? And then after that, what do people call your area? So it could be like somebody's in Philadelphia and we've put Philadelphia on the ads, but they never call it Philadelphia where they are. So it could be a suburb or even like a pet name of the area, like Treasure Coast or something like that. One of my clients is in the Treasure Coast in Florida, but I would never know to call it that because I don't live in Florida. So these are all questions that get you ahead in the game. You'll be much closer to generating good results if you ask these questions and actually take what they say into account. The clients that I've asked these for and we've implemented it for stay longer than the clients we don't. All right, so this brings me to step 2, which is agency systems. So here's the thing about online ads. It's very difficult to produce the same result in different markets for different clients consistently across the board 365 days a year. It just is. It's difficult. The best media buyers I know can't do it. To further complicate it, these are all the things that could be affecting the results. So the local reputation of the business, maybe it's good, maybe it's bad. The demographics or the unique things about a certain area. Like if you open up a carpet cleaning business in an area that only has houses with tile in them, you're not going to have a ton of success. The competition. So if there's 3 dentists in this dentist city, that's great. But if there's 25, it's going to be a lot harder. And if there's a lot of people buying ads in a certain area, then the ads there are going to be more expensive. The other thing, which this is getting really big, but the economy, what's happening? Is there a recession? Is this like discretionary spending and people don't have as much, so they're holding back? Is there a war going on in a different country that makes them nervous about buying things and they just want to save money right now? All of these things can affect results. Maybe there's some sort of protest going on or people posting a bunch of stuff online on social media. For example, Blackout Tuesday a few years ago when everybody was posting for George Floyd, there was a huge dip in results for most of our clients across the board. And then lastly, the time of year. Some businesses are super seasonal. So orthodontists, my niche, super busy in the summer. November and December are usually quite a bit slower. So of course results are going to drop off. So the key here is instead of boo-hooing like, oh, it's so complicated, I don't know how to help my client. Instead you say, I'm just going to embrace the fact that I have to test, and keep testing all the time. And that's the mark of a good marketer, is to continue to test. So our step number 2 here, which is agency systems, is building a system for testing and reporting results on those tests that makes it so you can consistently get results, even though every single client isn't going to have the same exact campaign. And something really important when it comes to this testing process, guys, is you want to get clients results as quickly as possible. They become less and less forgiving every single time you're like, we'll turn it around, we'll turn it around. No, you want results in the first week. If they have a good first month with you, they're going to be super forgiving if they have a bad month. If they have a bad first month with you, they're not going to be super forgiving. So you want to launch, come out of the gates as hard as you can by testing as many things as you can and even spending more money during the first month to get them the result they want faster. Here's how you do it. Number 1, you need a good offer. I recommend double offers. So $500 off plus free teeth whitening, or $750 off plus enter to win a Nintendo Switch. These types of things allow people to kind of stack the value in their mind and be like, oh, that's really good. That's very differentiated from what other people are doing in the area. So what you're going to do is take that offer with the thought that like, I can change this if it's not doing super well, and launch 2 campaigns on Facebook with it. I'm talking about Facebook ads. You can do this on wherever you're at, but we do a lead generation campaign. And then we also do a messenger campaign launched at the same time. So it's more work to build it all at the same time. But when we launch and we spend a little bit more than we normally would in that first couple of weeks, we get a ton more results, a ton more data, and we figure out which one's going to work quickly instead of waiting 2 weeks or a month to be like, oh, this one isn't working, let's switch the strategy. And your client's already upset. So along with those 2 campaigns, inside of each of them, you want to launch with specific creatives and different kinds of creatives. So you want stock images, you want to try regular photos, just pictures within the business that you're running ads for, and then graphic type images. So no pictures, nothing else except like, hey, Austin, Texas, $2,000 off braces. That kind of thing can work super well in certain areas, but in other areas it doesn't work as well. In addition to that, you want to test multiple ad copies. So some could be short, some could be long, different headlines, no headline, no ad copy. I've seen people have results just having like a good graphic ad that describes what's going on and actually having no headline, nothing else, which is really, really cool. So I can tell you guys, we've been testing, different ad copy, different creative, all that kind of thing. And we've been doing that for years and years in my agency. But when we started testing multiple campaigns right off the bat and spending more money right when we launched, the results have been insane in the last 2 months. And I'm way more confident we're going to keep clients much longer because we're going to get them results right away, almost no matter what. Of course, it's not a guarantee, but if we launch both of these campaigns at the same time with all of these different variations, something is going to work in that area. And that's how you have to think about this. Now, when it comes to sustaining these results, you need a system for this as well. So what we do is a traffic light system. This is something that Josh Nelson taught me at the high level conference. And basically you have red clients, you have yellow clients, you have green clients. For us, red clients are 0 to 1 leads generated in that week. Yellow clients are 2 to 3 leads, and green clients are 4+ leads generated in that week. So we spend most of our time talking about the red and the yellow clients and how we're going to improve results for them, but we don't spend a ton of time talking about the green clients because obviously they don't need it. If they drop down in that week and suddenly they're a yellow client or a red client, then we make the update. And that helps us have consistent results across the board. And you'll notice that there's some clients that drop down, then you make the changes, you switch something out, add, copy, creative, targeting, whatever it is. Watch my other video to see what to do there. But eventually you'll kind of get a knack for what it is that needs to be done with a specific client. All right, lastly, we've got step number 3, which is get outsider input. This is crucial, guys. I cannot overstate how important it is to pay for consultants to look at your ads, to teach you how to run ads better, to teach you how to get results better. All of these things are so important, and you can't rely on yourself to just learn all of them and get all of them off of YouTube. Like, go find people who are doing really cool things either in your niche or in other niches and be like, hey, how much for an hour of your time? Hey, how much for an hour of your time? And once you get on enough of these consults, you start seeing how people piece things together, and it'll shortcut your process of learning so much. The other type of outsider input you can bring in is hiring a white label agency or a media buyer to run the ads for you. What I do is we launch our own campaigns, and then if we can't figure it out, then we go to a white label company. We're like, hey, come in here, launch your campaigns. You guys got something that we don't. And we see how it works for them. I've had a white label company, and this is Agency Elevation, did an interview with them. Go check it out. They have saved clients that I was just stumped over. I could not figure out what to do with them. And they have taught us how to run ads better than we knew how to run ads. And we thought we had a lot of experience, but they have even more. So would highly recommend Agency Elevation, but this isn't a pitch for them. This is a way to think about generating results. First, you ask your client for help in understanding them, their business, their area. Then you create a system for testing. You set everything up to be systematically tested from the beginning, and then you check every single week to make sure those red clients are closer to becoming green clients the next week. And then lastly, you go search for other outsider input. Even when everything is going super well, you go talk to people and you say, how are you guys getting better results for your clients? Show me, get on a call with me, and you'll be surprised who comes out of the woodwork, who's really good at what they do. And you'll start to build a system that can truly generate really good results for clients across the board as much as possible. It's literally never possible to do it in every single market reliably 365 days a year, but you're going to get better and better. And eventually, in the words of Garrett White, you will suck so little that you'll actually be good. So hopefully this has been helpful, guys. Honestly, I am not that good at Facebook ads. I'm pretty average. I would say like maybe a little above average, but I'm smart enough to go find people who are actually good at Facebook ads. And that's what has contributed to my success over the last 3.5 years of running an agency. Thanks so much for tuning in, guys. We'll see you next time.